Welcome back, and now we are in Proverbs chapter 5, verse 7. It says, "Therefore, hear me now, my children, and do not depart from the words of my mouth." The therefore is there for the first 6 verses where Solomon told his son to not go to the immoral woman. Listen to wisdom, think about what's right. So it says, "Hear me now, and do not depart from the words of my mouth. Remove your way far from her," the immoral woman. "Do not go near the door of her house, lest you give your honor to others and your years to the cruel one." Who could be the cruel one here? "Lest aliens be filled with your wealth, and your labors go to the house of the foreigner, and you mourn at last. When your flesh and your body are consumed, and say, 'How have I hated instruction, and my heart despised correction? I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to those who instructed me. I was on the verge of total ruin in the midst of the assembly and congregation.'" So don't go back to the immoral woman. She will take everything from you, everything, and you will become a slave. The cruel one is your slave master. We would call him the devil. You could also say to your sin. You could say and it could be to actual other people who would be your master, because you just kind of give yourself over. And the point is that we do a horrible job of running ourselves. Either we are ruled by the Lord, which is the good way, or we're ruled by our sin, which is not a good way. But we are really incapable of running our own lives, of ruling our own lives. It's going to be ruled for us or run for us by something or someone. So it might as well be the Lord. He's the best one for it. So stay away from the immoral woman. It says, verse 10, "Lest aliens be filled with your wealth." It's not like aliens from outer space. It's not. It's people who live in another land. And remember, in that time when Solomon's talking to the Jews had this really strong tie to the land because it was given to them by the Lord. God gave it to them through Joshua. When Joshua came into the promised land and led the people from Egypt. Moses delivered them from Egypt, but Moses didn't make it to the promised land, so Joshua led them in. And he distributed the land to all the people and says, "This is yours. It needs to stay in your family. You may not sell it to foreigners. If you sell it to another Jewish person, they have to give it back later on in the year of Jubilee, or it can be redeemed." But the point is like it needs to stay in the family. And Solomon's saying, if you go to the immoral woman, like the worst thing that can happen to you, to your legacy, is you will lose the land out from your family. You'll go to foreigners. And anything else would have been less than that. That's the big thing. We have to keep this land in the family. Then in verse 11 it says, "And you mourn at last when your flesh and your body are consumed, and say, 'How have I hated instruction? How have I hated instruction?'" Now this is a post-death consciousness that he's talking about. You'll mourn after you die, because it says your flesh and body are consumed, right? That's your body, your flesh. You're dead, and you're going to have this eternal consciousness, knowing the mistakes that you made in your life, and you'll feel sorry for them. And so, it's a description of hell. And if hell was nothing else but this, it would be horrible. I mean, it's worse than this. Jesus gives us a lot worse descriptions of hell. But just this alone, saying, hey, for eternity, you are going to be regretting the choices you made in this life. That is enough. And it says, "My heart has despised correction. I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to those who instructed me. I was on the verge of total ruin in the midst of the assembling congregations." Like I knew it, people warned me, and I didn't listen. And when you stand before the Lord in judgment, if you don't accept Christ, when you stand in judgment, you're going to have no excuse for why you did the things you did, because it will be you'll know all of your motives, all of the stuff that you've hidden from yourself for all these years. You will know that you chose to walk away from the Almighty living God. And I don't want you to be that. Give your life to the Lord. He's pleading with you. I'm pleading with you. This is your only hope. Thank you very much. Have a good day. We'll see you next time.